Hi, and welcome to today's sleep story. My name is Serena, and today I'll be reading a sleep story about someone called Nuala. Find a comfortable position and take a deep inhale. Close your eyes and allow any tension to melt into the surface beneath you. Today, you'll be guided into a deep and relaxing sleep. As you settle into the soft embrace of your bed, let your thoughts drift away like a gentle breeze, carrying you far from the noise and rush of everyday life, to a place where a story unfolds. A story that is warm and comforting, like a blanket wrapped around your shoulders on a cool evening. Our story begins in a bustling city, filled with the sounds of honking cars, footsteps on crowded sidewalks, and the hum of 1,000 voices. In this city, people were always in a hurry, always moving, always doing. Among all these people, there lived a woman named Nuala. She was a woman who loved to read, a woman who found solace in the soft, rustling pages of a book. Nuala was a woman of many ideas, always thinking, always dreaming. But lately, she had begun to feel the quiet ache of loneliness. Nuala lived in a small apartment on the top floor of an old brick building. It was a cosy place, filled with books of all shapes and sizes, with shelves that reached up to the ceiling, each shelf filled with stories, knowledge and imagination. Her favourite place was a large armchair by the window, where she would often sit with a book in her hand, looking out at the city that never seemed to sleep. She would watch the people walking by, their lights flickering in the windows across the street, and the stars that tried their best to shine through the glow of the city lights. Despite the city's constant motion, Nuala's world felt still. She was surrounded by books, but rarely by people. She had always been a bit shy, a bit quiet, preferring the company of her stories to the unpredictable world outside her door. But lately, as the days grew shorter and the nights longer, she began to feel that stillness as loneliness. She loved her books, but she began to wonder if there was something more she was missing. One evening, as she sat in her armchair with a book in her lap, she felt a gentle breeze come through the window. It was a cool breeze, fresh and light, carrying with it the scent of rain and distant flowers. She closed her eyes and took a deep breath, letting the air fill her lungs. And for a moment, she felt a sense of calm wash over her. When she opened her eyes, she noticed something peculiar. There, on the floor by her bookshelf, was a single page. It was not from any book she'd been reading, nor did it belong to any of the books on her shelf. The page seemed to shimmer slightly in the fading light of the evening, almost as if it were alive. Curious, Nuala bent down and picked it up. As her fingers touched the paper, she felt a soft warmth spread through her hand, like the touch of a friendly hand in hers. She turned the page over and saw that it was covered in beautiful flowing script, unlike any handwriting she had ever seen before. The words seemed to dance on the page, swirling and curling like waves on a calm sea. And there at the top of the page were the words, "The Whispering Pages." Nuala felt a flutter of excitement in her chest. This was a mystery, a little adventure right in her own home. She loved mysteries, loved to uncover secrets hidden in the pages of books. She sat down in her armchair and with a deep breath, she began to read. The story on the page was about a young woman, much like herself, who had found a special book that spoke to her in whispers. This book, the story said, was magical. It was a book that could take you anywhere you wished to go, show you things you had never seen, and introduce you to people you had never met. The woman in the story had been lonely too, and the book had become her companion, guiding her on a journey to find the connections she had always longed for. As Nuala read, she felt the words wrap around her like a warm blanket. She felt her heart begin to beat a little faster, and her hands trembled slightly with excitement. She wondered where this mysterious page had come from, wondered if there was more to the story, wondered if it could be true. Was there a book out there, somewhere that could speak to her, that could guide her, that could help her find what she was missing? The city outside her window grew darker as night fell, and the lights in the buildings across the street began to flicker on, one by one. Nuala felt a sudden urge to go outside, to walk, to breathe in the night air. She had spent so much time inside lately, so much time alone with her books. Maybe, just maybe, it was time to do something different. She grabbed her coat, wrapped a scarf around her neck, and tucked the mysterious page into her pocket. As she stepped outside, she felt a cool breeze on her face, and the sounds of the city filled her ears. The cars, the chatter, the footsteps. But tonight, the sounds felt different. They felt alive, like a symphony, playing just for her. Nuala walked down the street, her feet moving with a purpose she hadn't felt in a long time. She walked past the familiar buildings, past the small park where children played during the day, past the cafe where she would sometimes go for tea. She felt a pull, a gentle tugging in her heart, guiding her somewhere. She didn't know where she was going, but she trusted the feeling. As she walked, she saw a small, cosy bookstore she had never noticed before. It was tucked away between two larger buildings, almost hidden from view. The sign above the door read, "The Whispering Pages." Her heart skipped a beat. Was this it? Was this the place from the story? She felt a thrill of excitement, like she was on the verge of discovering something wonderful. She pushed open the door, and a small bell chimed softly. The air inside was warm and smelled of old books and fresh coffee. Shelves lined the walls, filled with books of all kinds, and a soft golden light filled the room, making everything feel cozy and welcoming. At the back of the shop, an older woman with kind eyes and a warm smile looked up from behind a wooden counter. "Hello there," the woman said, her voice soft and inviting. "Welcome to the Whispering Pages." Nuala smiled back, feeling a warmth spread through her. She felt as if she had stepped into a dream, a lovely, quiet dream. "Hello," she replied. "I found this page," she said, pulling the page from her pocket and holding it out, "and it led me here." The woman behind the counter smiled even wider, her eyes twinkling like stars. "Ah, I see," she said. "You found one of our wandering pages. They have a way of finding those who need them most." Nuala felt a shiver run down her spine. "A wandering page?" she asked. "Yes," the woman replied. "This shop has been here for a long, long time, and it has many secrets. Sometimes the stories decide to go out and find people who need them. It seems this one found you." Nuala felt a surge of emotion in her chest, a mix of wonder, curiosity, and hope. "But why me?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. The woman's smile softened. "Only you can answer that," she said gently. "But perhaps you are feeling a little bit lost, a bit lonely. And this page knew that it could bring you here, where you might find a friend or two." Nuala felt her heart swell. She looked around the cosy little shop, at the shelves filled with books, at the warm light that made everything feel so welcoming. She felt something stir inside her, something she hadn't felt in a long time. She felt connected. She spent the next few hours in the shop, browsing through the books, talking with the woman, whose name was Margaret. Margaret told her stories about the shop, about the people who came and went, and about the magic that seemed to live in the walls. And as the hours passed, Nuala began to feel a lightness in her chest, a warmth that spread through her whole body. She realised that she hadn't felt lonely at all since she had walked through the door. She felt like she belonged, like she had found a place where she was welcome. Where she could be herself. And that feeling, that beautiful, warm feeling, was better than anything she'd felt in a long time. As the night grew late and it was time to leave, Margaret handed her a small book. "This is for you," she said with a smile. "A little gift from the whispering pages. I think you'll find it quite special." Nuala took the book, her heart full. "Thank you," she said, feeling a lump in her throat. "Thank you so much." As she walked back to her apartment, the city felt different. The lights seemed brighter, the sound softer, more melodic. She felt lighter, happier, more connected to the world around her. And she knew, deep down, that she was not alone. She had found a place where she belonged, a place that welcomed her with open arms as she curled up in her armchair with her new book. She felt a peace settle over her. A peace she had been longing for. She opened the book and began to read. And as she did, she heard the faintest whisper, like a soft voice in her ear, saying, "Welcome, dear Nuala, to a new beginning." And with that, she smiled, closed her eyes, and let herself drift off into a gentle, restful sleep, knowing that tomorrow held new adventures, new friendships, and new stories just waiting to be discovered. Tonight, let Nuala's journey be a reminder that even in the busiest of places, even in the quietest of moments, there is always a way to find connection, always a way to feel less alone. All it takes is a little courage, a little curiosity, and a heart open to the magic that the world has to offer. Sleep well, dream deeply, and know that you are never truly alone. The world is filled with stories waiting to be discovered, with people waiting to be met, and with places that feel like home, just waiting for you to find them.